Hello, 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 loves. Hello, my loves. How are you to the live viewers and the replayers? So, this is going to be just an evening chat. I'm just chilling, but I'm going to tell my story, y'all. I'm going to tell my story tonight. Something I've been meaning to do for the longest, and I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And I don't know why. I don't know if it was like procrastination. I don't know if it was like, I can't really say it's a fear of telling my story because it's something I've been really wanting to talk about. I think a part of it is because I've been so tired and had no motivation and no energy to do anything. So I just haven't been going live. And this is like me trying to really get back to going live and get back into the social media online presence phase. So, hey, Lisa. Hey, Sai, Sheeta. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. So this is me like, all right, Candace, let's get out here. Let's tell your story because it's been some things that I've been experiencing that I'm like, I need to talk about. I need to really talk about it. And for me, it's like, I'm not going to let nobody make me feel the way that they want me to feel. So I really kind of wanted to talk to moms to be, or moms who have experienced the feelings that I'm experiencing, that I have experienced. Because I know I'm not the only one. I cannot possibly be the only one who has felt like this. So I kind of want to take y'all through my journey and really just kind of go back to the beginning. Starting like the last year, starting the end of 2017. So, y'all, I had like this music going and it's starting to distract me because it's my Spanish music on top of that. So, let me take y'all back to the end of 2017 and just tell you what was happening. End of 2017, like October-ish, I'm like, all right, y'all, all right, I'm about to really go hard in my business. It's the last quarter of the year. I'm about to really go hard. I was really excited about bringing in 2018 because I had a lot of expectation. And I remember our church doing a fast in October. And so I fasted from sugar because, y'all, I had like a crazy sugar addiction. And so I fasted from sugar for the month of October. And then so as we were going into November, I'm like, I have a lot of expectation. And I'm telling my husband at this point in November, like, hey, babe, we've been back here. We've been here in Cincinnati. November will be our 9th month here in Cincinnati. So I have the expectation that God is about to birth something big, something huge. I don't know what it is. We're coming off this fast. And so I was like super excited, right? And for me, because I was so business minded, I'm like, it has something to do with my business. That's like the only thing I could think about. And I remember wanting to go hard in my business. Like, all right, now it's time to press. Now it's time to push hard and take 2017 out with a bang. But I was so freaking tired. And I remember I just kept sleeping and I just didn't want to get up and do anything for weeks. And I'm like, what is happening? And when I tell you, I was praying against the spirit of laziness, like, Candace, you just being lazy and you won't get up. Oh my gosh. And it was just like, I couldn't do nothing. And I was sleeping, right? So, in November, girl, yes. And so, okay, at this time, I didn't know nothing. So in November, I was expecting my period on a Tuesday. And so I was telling my husband, like, no, my period about to come. So Wednesday, it didn't come. Thursday, it didn't show up. Friday, I'm like, what is going on? Now, mind you, I'm actually tracking it on an app, which I never really did before. So I'm tracking it. So I'm like, well, I don't understand. Like, maybe it's just a little late. He like, whatever. I'm like, no, it's late. I don't understand. So at this point, I'm starting to kind of get scared. Like, should I like take a pregnancy test? And so I'm like in this mommy group, right? I've been in this mommy group for like a year, right? A plus size mommy memoirs group. And I was just like a lurker in this group just to kind of mentally prepare for when I was ready to get pregnant. And so I went into this group and I'm like, hey, I'm like 4 days late. on my period, when should I take a pregnancy test? So they're like, take it now, take it now, take it now. And I'm trying to wait like, nah. I'm gonna wait till Sunday. Like, if I don't come my period on Sunday, then I'll take the test. So thank you, homie. So I remember that Saturday, I think it was like November 18th, I did an event. I was emceeing an event, and I remember coming home and I'm like, hey, Rima, matter of fact, Rima, this is the event that I was, hosting for you. This is when I found out. So I was just like, let me take the test. I know my husband's going to be coming home in a few. Let me take it before he get home, right? So I went and I took the pregnancy test. And when I tell you, when that thing came up pregnant, literally the first words out of my mouth was this is awful. I was like, this is awful. And I remember like putting my forehead up against the mirror, like the medicine cabinet mirror. And I'm like, this is not good. And I just felt like in that moment, my life is over. And so I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do? Literally, my husband comes walking in right after that. So I'm like, okay, so he's getting undressed and I hand him the pregnancy test. And he's like, what? Nah, this ain't, he's like, nah, you done had that pregnancy test since we was in California, right? So he didn't believe it. He's like, nah, it's expired. I'm like, dude, yo, like, I'm pretty sure. Like, I ain't came on my period in days. Like, so literally we called my mom, like, we need to go to the store. And we showed her the pregnancy test. So she is elated. She is ecstatic. She is through the roof, over the moon. And I'm sitting there like, what is happening? Like, what is happening? Like, what is happening? And I'm flipping out, right? So, of course, I took another pregnancy test and it came out positive. And I remember just sitting there like shocked, like, this is not my life. And the whole thing was that I wasn't ready to get pregnant. I wasn't ready to start a family. My thing was, I really felt like I needed another year. I did. And I know a lot of women are like, you're going to get pregnant. Where are you going to get pregnant? No one's ever ready. But I wanted to be sure that, number one, I was financially stable enough to afford a kid. And I wanted to lose some weight before I got pregnant. And so, I wanted to have a vacation with my husband. There were just things that I wanted to do. And I was very, very driven in my business. And I really wanted to get my business off the ground. I know, Lisa, that's what I hear a lot, is that no one's ready. And so for me, the fact that I'm like, I felt like I got caught. And I'm like, I'm pregnant. Mind you, I've never really been around kids like that, never really been around babies like that. I've lived a very, very adult lifestyle. And so now all I could think is that, man, my life is about to be over. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't that I didn't want a family. It's just that I wasn't ready in the moment to have a family. And so I remember realizing, like, after I started doing some research and, talking to people, that's why I felt so tired. That's why I was so tired. And, that's why I was sleeping so much. And that's why I had no energy. And I still wanted to go hard in my business, the last quarter of 2017. And come join my walk jog program, baby. So I wanted to go hard in my business still. And I just did not have the energy to do it. And I remember God saying to rest. I'm calling you to rest right now. And I felt it, but I still wanted to push. I've always been someone who pressed and who pushed no matter what. And I remember I was doing a series. Namoya, you was part of the series. I was doing a series with 6 and 7 figure business owners. I'm really becoming the woman that God was calling them to be. And the last 4 women who were up in that series, every single person, when it was time for them to go up, had to cancel. Number one, I didn't feel like doing the interview anyway because I was so tired. I had no energy. And every single last one of them had something else going on where they had to cancel. And so I was like, okay. So it was like God canceled everything. And so at that point, I was like, all right, let me pull back from work. Let me take this break. Let me rest. And I remember thinking, God says he will make you lie down in green pastures. Baby, when I say he will make you, he pinned my head to the grass. Like, no, sit down, Candace, and rest. Yes, Namoya, it's God's timing. And I had to process that on my own. You're pregnant, not sick. Right. I know that. And so I took the last few months of 2017 and I rested. And it was so crazy because I remember feeling almost like purposeless. Like I felt like I didn't have any purpose. I felt like I was, not productive. I felt like I wasn't doing anything. I felt like all I'm doing is sleeping. I don't have any energy. I'm, not bringing any money for real because I'm not really working on my business like that. Like I had all these different emotions going on. And I remember my mom and my brother and everyone like, well, you need to be happy. You need to be happy. You're pregnant. And just all of these things that they were feeling and they were excited and they were elated about. I wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't. And I wasn't like really excited about it. And I didn't feel pregnant. I felt sick. And I mean, I know you're saying, you're pregnant, you're not sick. But in the beginning, Lisa, that's how I felt. I didn't feel pregnant. I felt sick all the time, tired all the time. And I'm just like, this is for the birds, yo. And so just my emotional state, I was still trying to process the fact that I was pregnant. And I remember having a conversation with my brother. He like, every time, I see you kind of sulking and you got to be more positive. You got to be on positives. My thing is this, is that you have to let people, not just women, not just pregnant women, you have to let people process their own feelings. You can't make me feel the way that you feel. You can't make me feel the way that you think I'm supposed to feel. I got things internally that I'm dealing with. And I need time to process this. Just because you want me to be happy in the moment doesn't mean I'm just going to be happy. And I'm not about to be fake about it. And so these were conversations that I was having with my mom and my brother. And it's just like, they're difficult conversations nonetheless. Lisa, great story. Well done for sharing. I have to share this because I feel like I cannot be the only person that has felt like this being pregnant. And let me see. Yeah, me too. When I was pregnant until 5 months. And that's the thing. It's just like, I feel like a lot of women don't talk about their true feelings about bringing life into this world or being pregnant or having kids because they're ashamed or they're embarrassed or they're scared that other women are going to say something. And other women are going to be like, well, you're pregnant, you're having a child. And, I haven't been able to have a child or I haven't been able to conceive or whatever the story is. They tend to bash you for how you feel based on their story. And my thing is like, your life is your life. Your story is your story. But that doesn't make my feelings invalid at all. And I don't accept that from anybody. It doesn't matter who it is, how close you are to me. We have to understand that everyone has their own process in accepting things, their own internal process. Yes, I have my own expectations and my expectations were blown out the water, of course, due to God's timing. But for me, it was really about moving through the process at my own pace and not letting people beat me down for not feeling the way that they thought I was supposed to feel. So I felt like this for a few months. And then I had my first ultrasound, I think like at week 13, I had my first ultrasound. And as I was laying there, when she, put the little gel on my belly and then she had the baby like up on the screen, I'm like staring at it. And I'm kind of staring at it like this kind of like half smirk. And I was just staring at it. And my dad's like, why are you looking like that, Candace? And I'm like, I'm trying to still process the fact that there's a person on the inside of me. And I mean, I was just like, wow. And so for me, it was like, okay, it made it more real by having that ultrasound. Lisa says we all need to be ourselves and accepting our own journey. And that's the thing, Lisa, is here's what I learned that God is calling me to as the Courage Coach, is that if I'm leading other women in the way of courage and really smashing their fears in the face and really moving past those fears and moving in confidence and moving in courage, I have to do it first. I'm on the front lines and I have to do it first. And if I'm being honest, this is like one of the most terrifying journeys of my life. I've never been pregnant. I ain't never had no kids. I ain't never been around kids. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need a parenting class. Like, this is all so new for me. And realizing that my life is going to change 100% terrifies me. And it's not that I don't want it, but it's a real fear that I have to deal with internally. And so that's why I thought it would be important to come and share the Courage Coach Pregnancy Chronicles, because I feel like if I'm helping other women go through their fears, I may not have the same fears that they have. I've conquered a lot of my fears, but this one here is huge. And this is a process that I have to go through with managing my own emotions and really walking the talk and doing what I teach other women to do, managing your own emotions, casting down those negative thoughts. Yes, moving through the process and accepting the journey. So this is a part of my journey, and I am going to be sharing this with you all. The good, the bad, the ugly. No matter what happens, I am working through my own emotions, working through my own feelings, working through my own fears, and I'm really trying to find my own courage on this journey. Crystal, I felt that with my first child, but he has been my biggest blessing. And I know this will be. Yep, it will change, and it is terrifying. However, you will conquer them all. I am. And so, it's crazy because after that first ultrasound, things shifted. And I think I needed that ultrasound to help me really feel pregnant, I guess. So I got a printout of like one of the pictures, like the 3D pictures of the ultrasound. And it's so crazy because the picture, it's so clear. And you can see the baby with his little arms crossed over the face and the little knees bent up. And I have the printout literally right next to the bed, and I look at it like I'm looking at a picture of my child, because it's a reminder for me that this is real, Candace. Someone's on the inside of you. You may not feel it. And right now my pregnancy is kind of uneventful. Like, I don't feel anything. I haven't been as sick as, and tired as I was in the beginning. But a lot of days I forget I'm pregnant, to be honest with you. I do. And so that picture is a reminder that you have a life on the inside of you. And so I've been able to kind of move through those feelings of not wanting to be pregnant. And I kind of had an epiphany the other day as me and my husband were doing like a Bible study. And I was sitting there, and he was reading out of the Bible and reading this prayer. And I was sitting there, and I was so mesmerized and in awe of him and his spiritual journey. And in that moment, God showed me how selfish I had been. And he showed me, said, Candace, everything is not always about you. God don't care about your feelings. God don't care that you ain't ready for stuff. God don't care about your feelings. There's a greater purpose and a grand scheme to what God has to put in play. And he had to show me that. My husband shifted in a major, major way spiritually when I got pregnant. And I realized that he was positioning himself as the head of the household, as the leader, and preparing for a child. And as much as I'm falling in love with him in a different way because he's growing spiritually, God is showing me that this was for him too. And that whatever God has purpose for my child in this day and age, now was a time that he wanted to bring my child forth, whether I was ready or not. He didn't care that I wasn't ready. It had nothing to do with me. And I was being selfish because I wasn't ready, and I wanted to have a vacation, and I wanted to lose weight, and me. You know what I'm saying? So I had my epiphany, and I realized, okay, you were being selfish. Let's see. Crystal, with my last child, from having a child at 17 and then at 31, I was like, no, because I wanted to focus on finishing my child development credential 2 classes away, and I have a high school diploma. So I relate to your thought this time around. Hi, Janelle. I love your Facebook Live because you can share your story. Thank you, love. Amen. A man that prepared with you is a pillar. Yes. Thank you for being transparent. You're welcome. Listen, I have to share my story because on this journey that I'm on, I just feel like I don't want to be apologetic about how I feel. I don't care what anyone else says. I don't care if it's my mom, if it's my brother. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to apologize for my feelings. There's a process that I have to move through, and I've been able to move through it. Yeah, I still got my things that I got to work through, but I really wanted to even just be a light and an encouragement to women who are going through things and who don't feel the way everyone thinks they're supposed to feel in the moment. I think everyone has this misconception that when you get pregnant or when you have a baby, you're just supposed to be like, oh my God, this is the best thing in the world and I'm so happy. But you never know what people are dealing with when they get pregnant or when they have a baby. You never know, their financial status. You never know their physical state. You never know their relationship status. You never know their emotional state. You never know what they're going through, where they're like, I got things that I'm dealing with. Now I'm bringing a life into this world. You never know if they have been raped and now they're pregnant. You don't know. So we have to be careful on how we project our feelings onto other people and making assumptions that they're supposed to feel the way we think they're supposed to feel. I'm not going to accept that. And I'm not going to be apologetic for how I felt. And I really want to encourage women to speak their truth and not be apologetic for how you feel, even if it's not the way others think you're supposed to feel, even if it's not in congruence with the norm and how everybody else feels. Speak your truth, boo. This is me speaking my truth. And I know there may be other people who are like, oh my gosh, like she wasn't excited about being pregnant. No, I wasn't at all. I wasn't ready. But I had to go through my own process and things have shifted. But had I tried to become the person that they wanted me to be, number one, I wouldn't have been true to myself. Number two, it probably would have backfired and I probably would have went into some deeper, darker feelings because now I'm not being true to myself. And I didn't want to do that. Hey, Vestal. Absolutely. Janelle, I was asked every year when I was going to have a baby, but I couldn't conceive. So I understand. And that's a whole nother story. I think people can be so insensitive sometimes, to single women or to women without kids. I go, ain't you about ready to have a baby? You 36 years old. Shouldn't you be pregnant now? People are always basing stuff on age and basing stuff on their timelines, thinking you should be married, thinking you should be having kids. Like, that is so insensitive. You never know what women are dealing with. I have very good friends who want to conceive more than anything in the world, but they're having difficulties doing it. And people all the time is all up in their face like, when you gonna get pregnant? When you gonna get a husband? How rude are you? So we gotta be careful, y'all. We gotta be careful about imposing our beliefs and our feelings on other people because we think that they're supposed to feel like that. Crystal, oh my gosh, yes, I cried and pleaded with God and opened my Bible each time he talked to me. Keep sharing this. Very important to be honest and brave. I agree, Lisa. I agree. This journey is so new for me. Like, everything about it is like new and terrifying, and as the courage coach, I will say, yes, fear is going to come. Fear is going to happen. You're going to be scared. You're going to be terrified, but it's really about how you move through it and what you learn through the process. It's not about being debilitated, and it's not about, being paralyzed by the fear, but it's about shifting your perspective and how you see it and understanding that it's going to be a process, but really moving through that process so that you can become who you want to be over the course of that journey. So this is me exposing my true feelings. Of course, I didn't announce that I was even pregnant until about 3 months. But I wasn't feeling it, y'all. I wasn't feeling it at all. I'm still trying to process the fact that there's a person on the inside of me. I am. So, I mean, I don't feel the same way I felt in the beginning. I'm getting more and more excited about it. But I'm still processing. I am. Star, I've been praying for a child for years. And I believe that God will give us the desires of our heart. And, one thing I also believe is that a lot of times God's plans are not our plans, and his ways are not our ways. And we have to understand that he's not going to do things the way that we do things or the way that we think he's supposed to do things. And for me, it's about really accepting how he's going to do it, whether we birth a child, whether we adopt a child, whether we foster children, we can still be parents. And I feel like a lot of women don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. She's my angel. I pray for you. Thank you. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you. Hey, Chantel. So, y'all, I was like, let me finally go ahead and do my live. Y'all, I wanted to do this like months ago. I really did. But I was just like tired and I had no energy to come talk to y'all. So this is my attempt at, getting back on social media, being more present. I'm trying to, y'all, I kind of want to do this every day right now, at least for the next month. We gonna see. I can't make no promises, but I'm trying to press. This is me pressing. And I will say that I don't take it for granted that God has blessed me and put me in a position that many women haven't been able to be in. And I ask myself, like, Candace, like, really? When are you going to start pressing? Because I don't know the line between, pressing and then doing too much. Because I have the luxury right now to be at home and run my business from home. And I don't have to go work a job, and I don't have to go take care of other kids. And there's a lot of women out there who have other kids they have to take care of. They can't afford to be napping all dang day long. They have to go to work. They can't be asleep all dang day long. But I have that privilege. And so it's like, Candace, at what point are you going to get your behind up and press? So I'm trying to learn how to listen to my body and just be like, okay, now's the time that you can press. You okay right now? Versus I'm zonked emotionally, physically, and I need to rest. So I'm trying to find my balance. It's really trying to find the new me in this journey, because I believe that we're growing and we're shifting every single day. And if we're not growing and shifting every single day, then we're stagnant. So I'm shifting and growing into the new me. And I'm trying to find out and figure out like who she is and who she's becoming. Chantel said napping days are over. Who, for you or for me? Boo. Because you got Kara and CJ not going to let you take a nap, baby. Honey. So I admire all the mamas out there. I do. I have so much respect for y'all. And I'm learning from each and every one of y'all. I'm so open to advice, unsolicited or not. I'm open to it because I'm new to this journey. And that don't mean I'm going to take everybody's advice, but I'm open, baby. So like, if you're a mama and you have kids, like for you, like what kind of advice would you give me on this journey? First time mom, like what would you say is important for me to do or to know as a first time mom? I'm like 4 months pregnant. So I'm on the journey. But like, where were you at this point in your life? And what do you think of some words of wisdom that you could offer me? I would love to hear. Vicky, I desired for children for years, but then in 2014, I made peace with it. I knew that God had better plans for me, and having kids in my 40s wasn't ideal for me. Since 2014, God has opened some amazing doors and done great things in my life. Congrats to you and God bless. Thank you so much, Vicky. But I love that. I think it's important. And, I haven't experienced everyone's journey and everyone has an experience of mine, but I think it's important to find the grace and find the glory in every piece of our life, even if we're still asking for things, and even if you don't have kids, I know it's not ideal in your 40s, but you never know what God has in store for you. And I'm a firm believer that God can still bless you with children. And when he does it, he will give you the energy and the grace to be able to take care of them. Chantel says, accept any help offered. Don't try and do it all. Let people help you. Girl, that's been a struggle for me. I feel so incompetent. So I'm like, I can still do, y'all. Like, I'm not handicapped. Like, I'm like, I can do stuff and people just won't let me do anything. And so I'm standing around looking stupid. Like, it's so difficult, especially for me being this independent person. It's hard. It's hard to give up the control and let people help and let people do. Yeah, some of it probably is pride, I'll admit. A lot of us are independence, but I'm working on it, Telly. I'm working on it. Crystal, sleep whenever you can. Eat healthy to keep the energy. Girl, I'm trying that too. And buy gummy vitamins prenatal. Oh, I need more prenatals. I ran out yesterday and I totally forgot that I need to go get some more. Oh, thanks for reminding me. See, look, y'all, I'm already like falling apart. I forgot I ran out of my prenatals. Chantel says you will regret not accepting help down the line. I was just like you. Well, I'm learning. I use chewable prenatals. I don't know. Them chewy things be disgusting. I might do a gummy. I don't know. I can swallow the big horse pills. I just got to get some more. Thank you, Star. He said you got this. I'm excited for you. I would do the buy one, get one. I'm probably going to do that. All right, y'all. So I think I want to kind of do these little evening chats a bit more often. And I might even bring some mamas on to come talk with me. Cause like I said, I'm open. I'm so open to hearing, your stories, of motherhood, to hearing your stories of motherhood and hearing your stories of pregnancy, because I know a lot of women have gone through a lot of different things on their journeys. And I think it can be very encouraging to hear how women have overcome, whether it's physically or whether it's emotionally, psychologically, physically. So I do think that I want to kind of keep having these evening chats, keeping it 100 with y'all, letting y'all know how I'm feeling on my journey, but even hearing some of your stories. Have a blessed night, and I'm here for that anytime. Yes, Crystal. Love you, boo. You too. All right, y'all. So I think that's going to be it for tonight. I just want to encourage you to speak your truth, no matter what people are going to think and what people are going to say. And understand that you have to go through your own process, and that you can't just feel the way somebody else wants you to feel or how they think you should feel. Do you, boo? Unapologetically. And I think it takes a lot of courage to do that, and to speak your truth, because you're afraid of what other people are going to say. And then they're going to throw their little sob stories at you. And it's not to diminish your sob story, but your story is not my story, and my story is not your story. God bless you. But I feel the way I feel, and I got my own things to process. So, yes, that's the takeaway. That's the takeaway for today. Thank you, Star. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. So I'm going to head out of here. I'll be back tomorrow with Restore Me. I don't know the topic yet, but I'll send it out early in the day. So meet me back here tomorrow, 7 p.m. for Restore Me. Love you all. God bless.